Have you ever wondered what happens after students view your Preply profile? Today, I'm going to show you my actual Preply statistics from the last 90 days. And honestly, there are some numbers here that surprised me. All right, so this is my Preply account, and here's my students later at 10 p.m. And then I have an upcoming lessons with these people in actions needed. Yeah, but anyway, that's not our point here. This is not the point of this video. So let's go ahead directly to the insights so that you'll see my replay statistics. Now let's discuss here. Let's focus in here. All right. All right, so I had 673 profile views, 8 trial lessons, and 7 subscriptions. That means 7 out of my 8 trial students subscribed after the trial lesson, giving me an 87.5% conversion rate. So, in this video, I'll break down these numbers and what I think they mean and what I'm doing to improve my profile and attract more students. All right, part one, my profile views. So let's start with the biggest number, 673 profile views in the last 90 days. That means hundreds of learners came across my profile or viewed it during this period. But here's something important. Profile views don't automatically mean students will book a lesson. You can have hundreds or even thousands of profile views, but if your profile doesn't convince students to take the next step, those views won't turn into actual lessons. So I think it's important to look at the entire journey. So profile view, trial lesson, then subscription. And that's where my numbers get interesting. All right, part two, only 8 trial lessons. So out of 673 profile views, I had only 8 trial lessons. That's approximately 1.2% of profile views here. See that? All right, turning into trial lessons. Only 1.2% of profile views turning into trial lessons. And of course, according to Preply, the target shown on my dashboard is just 2%. So, this is actually one area where I need to improve. So, my profile is getting views, but I need to do a better job of turning those views into bookings. Yeah. This could mean improving things like my profile headline, my introduction video, my profile description, my profile photo, or my niche, or specialization, even pricing and availability. And most importantly, clearly showing students what they can expect from my lessons. So if you're a Privly tutor and you're getting profile views but very few trial lessons, this is something you should pay attention to too. Part three, the number that really surprised me. Now let's talk about the number I'm happiest about. So I had 8 trial lessons and 7 new subscriptions. Yay! That's an 87.5% subscription rate after the trial lesson. And Priply's dashboard shows a target of 60% only, so I'm currently above the that target. And honestly, I think this tells me something important. The problem isn't necessarily my trial lessons. The bigger challenge is getting more students to book the trial lesson in the first place. Yeah. So once students actually meet me and experience my lesson, there's a big possibility or a large percentage of them decide to continue. Part four, what I think is wrong. So why do I think my trial to subscription rate is relatively high? First, I try not to treat the trial lesson like a normal lesson. I use the trial to understand the students' goals, their current level, their difficulties, and what they actually need English for. For example, some students want to improve conversation skills. Others need English for work, interviews, presentations, IELTS, or communicating with people internationally. So instead of simply teaching random vocabulary or grammar, I try to connect the lesson to their actual goals. I also want students to leave the trial lesson feeling, this teacher understands what I need and I know what we can work on together. I think that feeling is extremely important. Part 5, my average profile position. Another interesting number is my average profile position, 11. And this is very important because visibility matters. The higher your profile appears in search results, the more opportunities you have to be seen by potential students. But of course, being visible isn't enough. You need to make students want to click on your profile, and once they click, your profile needs to convince them to book. So I see it as three stages: visibility, click, and booking. Right. And then there's a fourth stage: booking, then subscription. Right now, I think I'm doing quite well at the final stage, but I still have work to do in the earlier stages. Part 6, what I want to improve. So, looking at these numbers, I don't want to simply celebrate the 87.5%. I also want to look at the weakness. My biggest opportunity is increasing my trial lesson bookings. If I can increase the number of people who go from profile view to trial lesson while maintaining a strong trial to subscription rate, I could potentially grow much faster. For example, imagine going from 8 trial lessons to 16 while maintaining a similar conversion rate. That could potentially mean significantly more new students. Of course, conversion rates can change. So I'm not saying this will automatically happen, but that's the goal, right? Part 7, what I would tell new Preply teachers. If you're just starting on Preply, don't become obsessed with one number. Don't look at your profile views and think, nobody's booking me. I'm doing something wrong. No. Instead, look at the whole funnel, right? Ask yourself, how many people are viewing my profile? Then how many are booking trials? Then how many trial students are subscribing? These numbers can tell you where the actual problem is. If you have very few profile views, work on visibility. If you have many profile views but very few trial bookings, improve your profile and offer. If you get many trials but few subscriptions, focus on your trial lesson and how you communicate your value. Right? This way, you're not just guessing, you're using your data to improve. So that's my Preply statistics for the last 90 days: 673 profile views, 8 trial lessons, and 7 subscriptions, 7 new subscriptions, and an 87.5% trial to subscription rate. Well, I'm happy with the subscription rate, but I know there's still a lot of room to improve, especially when it comes to converting profile views into trial lessons. I'll continue experimenting with my profile, my introduction, my lessons, and my overall strategy. And if you're also a Preply teacher, I'd love to know how many profile views, trial lessons, and new students are you getting? So let me know your numbers in the comments. And if you want more content about my experience as an English online tutor, Preply teaching strategies and finding students, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.